Okay, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so all right. So I believe we can see my screen. Can we all see my screen? Let me setting up that.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, all right. Thank you. Okay, so yesterday we actually started something. A lot of us were asking whether it was a new task or something, or if they had missed classes. So actually, I wanted to use this to do a revision. So the tasks you were given, you actually worked, or the mentor walked you through each step till the end. So that was the reason why I didn't want to uh, go over it again. I just wanted to do a particular section, and I asked if anybody has a particular section that they had issues with, and well, we didn't say anything. So I just picked this subscribe section and worked on it, even though I didn't finish it. So for then towards the end of yesterday, I told us about something. So when you have a device and you want to implement a web page, so there are some sites that you will go to and you will now have to start pinching the screen or expanding it so that you'll be able to see what is on it. So in the actual sense, that's not how a web page is supposed to be. So this is this is a small device. Let's say this is someone's phone. And I open this my web page here, and I am seeing this very ugly, very unkept and everything. So I know unkept is actually not the word, but it's fugly. So we want to make this better. We want we want this to be responsive. So there's a thing called responsive design. So responsive design is when no matter the device you're on, your web page still looks nice. So we'll be working on that today. And in the meantime, so we have a couple of things to actually fix up on this page. So I'm going to use this, even though this part looks awkward here. So we did, let me change this. So we did up to this point yesterday. So we'll be adding these other sections, and then we'll now go over to making it responsive. So we'll do this quickly and then make it responsive. Okay, so that's fine. So let's just kick off. So this was where we stopped yesterday. We did ladies section, and I didn't know why I named it ladies section, sure. But let's just continue from there. So I hope we are good up to this point. Hello?
We are here, sir. We are here.
I'm good
All right.
though.
We are good, sir.
All right. All right. So that's fine. Okay. So let's just start. So let's look at this design. What do we have? Um, so this is so we have this section here, the about section. So we'll start from there. Since we stopped here, so everything is almost the same. It's just here now. So if you were not in yesterday's class, you can just check it out. And I'm sure you'll be able to follow through. All right. All right. So I said for consistency's sake, I'll be using section. I hope I don't derail from it. So section, and I'm using a dot because it's a class. So I'll call this about section. About section. All right. So I want to do a custom class. So if we check this now, you see that this is not touching the edge. This is just here. So I want to have a container that is not touching the end. The container that is just centered and keeping everything in the middle here. So I'll create that class now. Let me just add it in the HTML. So dot container. Oops. Okay. Then let's check the design again. So we have an image and then the text section. So okay, let me do this. So I'm doing a dot container. So I want to give it a width of 90%. So that means it's not taking the full screen. Then I want to centralize it, so I can just do that using margin top and bottom 0. That doesn't affect the top and the bottom. Then trim from the trim from both sides. So use an auto. Okay, we won't be able to notice that since nothing has been added. Okay, so but basically this is a width of 90%. So do margin 0 auto. So this auto takes the remaining space. So percentage is 100% like we know. So that means we have 10% left here. So that means if we are centering this container now, that means take 5% from one end, take the other 5% from the other end, and keep it at the center. So that's what this does. All right. So now coming back here now. So I want to create another custom class, and I want to call it Flex. So this class now. So it's a custom class that I want to make. So I want a display of flex. So that's why I just named it this dflex. Nothing special. All right. Okay, so coming back here now, let's look at this design. So an image, and then this other side, the text. So I come here now and I just say, since we were doing a developer's image, I have somebody's name here, but I don't have the person's image, so I'm using my own image for now. All right. So dev image. Oops, sorry. Okay, so dev image, and then inside here I now put my image. So I already have this image here, so I just do img slash this image, and then I put an alternative. I would like to use my name. Okay, so I have this. Then we now have this other section. So they are the about text. So about, all right. So here now, inside here now, we now have the first one. So let me just say this. So when you're doing a web page, if you're using headings, please ensure that you just use only one H. You have only one H1. Don't use multiple H1s on your pages, on your web page actually. So I think it affects search engine optimization of something of that sort. So yeah. So here we now have the about me text. So I'm using a H5, and then we now have the other one. So this can be a H2. So let me copy that. I'm lazy. All right. So I'm going to just use a random text. So I'll use the paragraph, and I'll do lorem. So I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to put 2 paragraphs. All right. So let's see what we have now. So my display flex is actually working. That's why you can see them side by side. All right. So this dflex is a custom class, and is the parent of these 2 things. So you could use custom classes that way to just make the work easier. So like this dflex now, I can repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. All right. So what do we want to do here? So both of them, they are side by side. Let me see this again. So you can see it's not touching the edge. So what I would want to do is, so this dev image now, I want them to have their own so dot this. So I want to give it a width of, let's say, is that 40%? Then the other one is the about text. So the about text, I'll give it a width of, so a width of, yeah, just to complete it, 60%. So let's see what it looks like. Let's see this one. So yes. So we want to do, so we have this one. So I would like to give, let me give, so let me style this image. So let me style the image. I come to this. So we have dev image. So we have dev image, and I'm styling the image. So let's say I want a height of 400 pixels, and then I want a border radius. So I want it circular. Sorry, not border radius. So a border radius of 50% to make it round. Looks big. So let me do 300. Right. Okay, so I have this. Then I want. So if we notice this is actually touching the top. This is touching this. Let me close this. So this is what it looks like now. And then this space here is not even, it's so uneven. So what I would like to do here, so this is dev image. So I want to display flex here. Okay, alternatively, I just thought of something. Okay, so come here. So we have dev image, and I have this class of deflex. So I hope we don't get confused. So I am using this deflex here because it stands for display flex. I don't want to repeat classes or repeat styles, so I'm using that. So I want to create another custom style. So align center. So I will say align items center. So all these are just custom classes. You can actually have multiple classes, not single classes. So let me just create this one to justify content center. So I could actually make this short as well. Let's suggest it. Okay, so we have this. So I want to align my align item center. So I can simply add this here, align center. Let me confirm something. Okay. Right. Okay, so some reasons that is not happening. Okay, sorry, justify content center, not align. So let's check now. Probably needs an align items too. Oh, there's a dot. So it's now at the center. So I just did that by using classes instead of having to repeat multiple classes, display flex, do this, do that. So let me give this a background. Sorry. So I didn't get the parent. So the parent here is about section. So I'll be styling the about section now. So that's about. Background. Okay, so I have a color for that, a color for the background. So pasting that color here. All right. So I did this and everything just disappeared because that's a black text. So I need to give this a color of white. Then I need some padding because it's touching the upper section. So for me to do that, I want top and bottom maybe 100 pixels, left and right, 0. All right. So this is what I have now. So let me see. So if you so choose, you can increase. Let's increase the font size of this one. But that's not really priority. So we have about section. Inside about section, we have H2. Sorry. So about section. Or about text, sorry. So H2. So I want a font size, a font size of 30 pixels. Oh, that's not much. All right. So if we notice, you see that they are not at the same distance. This one is also at the same, but we want them to be at the same line. So I would want to do. So this is the parent, the deflex. So align center. So let's see what that gives us. So you see. So using classes, I had already defined that class here. So I have this align center, which has an align items of center. So you just need to understand the combination. So deflex, normally if you call a particular class, you do display flex, align item center, or justify content center. So instead of me writing it, I just need to call this class on it, call this class on it, and just use it according to how I want to use it. Okay. So I think the about section is good to go. So I want to move over to this other section. So let me close this up. So I'll do a section again, section dot. So I'll call this project section. Projects. Project section. So project section now, I'll still, since it is not touching the end too, so I'll still give it the container class. So that's container. Now, so it has a heading. So if we are looking at our already finished job, so it has some projects. which is actually supposed to have space. So I'll use the H5. Sorry about that. So since we are using this pattern, so I'm going to still use this. So I'm replacing this about me with some, and then I'm replacing the H2 here with projects. Okay. So after this now, so I need a parent. So looking at this design again, you're seeing that they are lined up together. So let me just start with creating a project item. So an individual of that, I want to call it a project item. All right. So we have a project item, and then so we have, it's a combination of an image and a text at the bottom. So I want to call this project image. Oops. So inside here, I'm putting my image again because I'm too lazy to get images. Don't mind me. All right, so I'm still going to write this. Okay, so we have project image. Then the next one is the project info. Since it's single. Okay, so I'm just going to do the heading. So I'll use a H3 and I'll just do a random name RM2. So I have that. Then I just need a random text for now. So I have this. So let's see what we have now. So let's see what we have now. So this is what we have. All right. So what do we want to do here? So this image, now we want to style this project item so that it looks like what we have already. So we'll do that soon. We'll do that now. So I'm picking project item. Okay. So if we notice, so it had a background. So I'm giving it a background. A background of, this is 3, 1, 3, 1. All right. So I'm giving it this background. And then I want to give it the width. So I'm giving it a default width of 30%. Okay. So this is what we have now. So this is what we have. Okay. So I want to style the image. So want to do a project item, and then I want to pick, since we said it's project image, sorry, and then the image item too. So let me confirm something now. Okay, so this is project item. The image is so wonderful, so wonderfully big. So the project image. So first of all, let me start with let me do this. So I need overflow. Oh, the bracket is wrong. Overflow of speed. So let's see. This is what it looks like. Wow. So coming back here, so object fit. So object fit of cover. And then I want to give it a width of 100%. That's for the image. So this is what I have now. So let's check something. So let's better understand something. So it was the width. So this width now, because it's not 100%, it's just taking the actual size of the image. So that's why it was jutting out. That's why it was coming out. So when I did a width of 100%, it now had to follow up with the size of this project section. Project item container. All right. So the next thing I want to do is, so if we notice now, our text is something else. So I need to give a color of white. So this, now it's too close to this place. So see what we have here. So I want to get, since this is the project info, so I need to give the project info a padding. So project item the project, I need to change this to info. So I'll give it a padding of 30 pixels. All right. So this is what we have now. So let me see this. Okay, so that's then. So for our project item, it's not actually complete, because if you notice, we have a border. We have a border radius. So this is curved. Doesn't really even show. Okay. So this is actually meant to be curved. So I think we'll do that on the image instead. So for the image here, so I would say border radius So border radius, if I say 10 pixels, let's see what, I know it will ruin this for me. So see what happened here. So we have this space, we have something that is also not working fine behind. So that is the project image. So I want to also give the project image border radius too. So let's see what we have now. This project item, not project image. Okay, so let's see this. So this is this, but we still have this, and then we still have this, which we don't really want. So for us to do that, let me see this. String. So let me see this. So sorry, let me inspect and fix this up. So this now, so we have this border radius. So top left is okay, top right. So I don't want for the bottom. So I need to change this. Oops. Okay, so reasons it's not. Some reasons it's not accepting. Sorry. Okay, so let me just spell it out here at once, man. 10 pixels. And then we can just fix it from here. 10 pixels, 10 pixels. All right. So that means, so let's see. This is my own. All right. Okay. So this is top. So I think top is fine. This first two are for top. So this last two, I don't think we need them. So if we check now, you see that this part is gone off. So that means the first two, if you're arranging this, the first two are for the top side. The last two are for the bottom part. So let me just fix that up here. So 0, 0. The pixels are actually not necessary, sure, but I'll leave them. So when you're using 0, the pixels are not necessary. That's what I mean. So this is what we have now. So I want to give this a padding too. So project section. So I need a the color. I need padding of 100 pixels. Top and bottom, left and right, 0. So let's see. So this, so it still has this background, sure. So I can give it that background. So this is the background. So this is it. So if you notice, we had a hover effect. So when you're on it, when you're on this if you check here, so this zooms out. So let's do that now. So that's it's a pseudo class. So the pseudo class basically affects a particular element when you do, and if when you're either hovering, there are a lot of them. So we are saying when you hover on this project item, so here now, so when you hover, we want the image. So the last classes, the last system here is always what is affected. So we need so we need a transform. So we need a transform. So transform basically, so the normal scale is 1. So this is like increased by 1.3. Yeah. So we are saying increase by 1.3. So let's see what happens. So when you hover on this, not minding wherever your mouse is, this zooms out. All right. Then I need a transition. So transition basically slows down things. A transition is more like a kind of timing. 0.5 seconds. So let's see. So my text is gone here. So I need to do a color of this thing here. Sorry. So my text is back. So when so it takes a while and it doesn't just. So some things are actually missing. So I need a border bottom at this point, so that when I hover on it too, it also comes up. So so I need border bottom, border bottom of 2 pixels solid. I think I have a color. Where am I? pixel solid. So is it here? So for the project item rather, sorry. So this is what it looks like now. All right. So let's look at this again. So we have 3 of them. So I want to duplicate at this point. So I'm coming here now. So look at what is happening. Each of them are on different lines now. So do we have questions? Let me pause. Okay. Alani, what's your question?
All right, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. I have just 2 questions. The first one, the first one is, what is the difference between justify content and align content? That is the first question, sir. And the second question, when we started the class, I did not join on time. So when you over on one of the pictures, it zoom in and zoom out. I don't know how you did that.
Okay. Okay, your question. Okay. Okay, I've gotten your question. So justify content. Uh, so justify content basically aligns the container as in so that it just fits into a particular area. And then you say align content, Abi?
Yes, sir. I like content and justify content.
Okay. So align content. This one it changes how. Sorry. Okay, let me just. So okay, we use justify content here. So justify content. So looking at this now, this is we have this was leaning towards the side. So we now want it to have a particular to be centered. So let it not just be leaning towards one side. So justify content just pushed it, align the containers item, what is inside it. So we have a div, a parent div here, and then this is the content inside it. So it now brought it, since we said we want it at the center, it brought it to the center. So it aligned that item with the available space. So if this space is like 100%, and then this is like 30%, so this checks, okay, 100 minus 30%, and then tries to place it at the center. So that's what justify content does. But align content, it just modifies how how your items are aligned. So if it's supposed to bend or something, so it just modifies your flex how your flex works. So I think that's more. It's something that you should actually test out. You should actually try out. So just you can just
Yes,
look
sir.
it up.
I do test it,
And
but it's just kind of confusing. But now I understand what it means now. So one is used when you are using your flex direction.
okay, yeah. And then this one is when uh, you want to align it relative to your container, relative to the justified content, relative to your container. You want to style it in that manner. So I think that is that. All right. Another handle. Okay. Dwayne.
Okay, yeah. So just a quick one. In addition to what you just said, it's still me clearing up justified content and aligned content. So
All right.
okay, I really can't tell who asked the question, but I believe you're listening. So they are all used on the Flex container, right? So the Flex container, if it's configured in such a way that contents are being displayed by row, right? So the align content, right, aligns content inside Flex container. So align content has to do with, or align items has to do with aligning them vertically, right? When the display of the flex container is row, right? So while for justified content, when the flex container is row, it aligns items horizontally. That's why when you do justify content center, every content inside is like centralized, right? But if it's a column case where the flex container contents inside are displayed in columns instead of it swaps. So for justify content, instead of horizontal alignment, it aligns content vertically, right? Then for align items, it aligns them horizontally. So that's just what I want to add.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dwayne. All right. So let's just continue so that we can. I hope that's cleared up.
Very well, sir. Very well, sir. Don't forget the oven, the zooming out and zooming in, sir.
Okay, okay. So let me open this. So what happened is, okay, so I was saying in my style here. So I have, so a project item is basically this. So this one of this is a project item. So I am saying when you hover on a project item, that's why I added this pseudo class, that this image should increase by 0.3. 0.3 basically because the normal scale of an image is 1. So me adding a 0.3 here will make it zoom out. I could also make it to go back if I reduce this. If I say 0.5. So see what is happening. So because I said 1.3, that's why when we come here, it comes out. So anything above 1 is zooming out. Anything below 1 is uh, opposite of zooming out. It's zooming out. Okay, zooming in. All right. So I hope that you understand what is happening there. Then I gave it a transition of 0.5 seconds so that it won't be very fast. It will just slow it down a bit, even though this is so when it's coming out, it actually takes a while. But when it's going back, I don't know why it's doing that. So is out. Okay. So it zooms out and then it goes back in. So that delay makes it take a while before it's not very fast and all of that. Okay. So I hope that hope you understand that, Alani. Okay. Okay. Can we hear me? Hello?
Yes.
All right. So I'm using the display flex because I want each item now to line up together on the same plane. So I'll do this. All right. So I come back to my web page. So this is what I have. This. All right. So I think I need spaces between them. So if you recall, I did a justify content. So I have this display flex here, this D flex. So it stands for display flex. So I can just do justify content between, and that, you know, is that the name of my class? Oh, okay. So I didn't do that. All right, so this is what I have. So you can now see they are spaced. All right, so we have this now. So let me quickly do this last side, and then we go back to responsiveness. So I have, let me scroll to the bottom, let me close this project section, testimonial section. Well, I'm supposed to use a section tag. All right, so here now. So is it at the end? That's a question I'll ask myself. So we have this space here, so I'll use a container. Then inside that container now, so inside the container now, we have this testimonial and happy clients. So I will get this one from here, about section. So we have this. I could actually make this better, sure. But let's just do it like this. I'm sure you could make it better. So I copy this, and I'm replacing this who am I. I get this other one, testimonials. Okay, so that is that. So the next thing I want now is So I need a testimony item. So I can do testimony item. So if you notice what is happening here, so we have two items, but I want to create one first, and then we'll now go on to duplicate it the same way we did the other one. So at the top here, we have this, and then we have the name, and then the role. So I could just do a display flex because I want them to be side by side. So if I do a display flex, I need to put an image. So I could just say testifier. I don't even know what that means. Or let me just do person. Yes. So inside the person now, I'm still going to use my image. Amabinu. All right. So we have this. Then we have the person's name. So person info. So we have a name. So I can just say H3. I don't know whether I needed to go and copy my name again. So H5. Well, so that's so I have this. So I made this smaller on purpose. Let the name be more prominent. All right. So if you notice, so my image is big as usual. So I need to style it to fit. So what do I do? So I am taking the testimonial section first. And I want to give it a padding as usual. Top and bottom 100 pixel, left and right 0. Then, so what do we have? Testimonial. Trying to. What is that? Is it that I can't spell? Testimonial. Top and bottom. So section. This should be section. Okay. Wow, I just learned something. Okay, so this. So I need to style the image. So I will move from testimonial section. So it depends on you. The person, and then I'm picking the IMG. So I need a height of 250 pixels, and then a width of 250 pixels. Oh, why am I even using that? Sorry, let's use something smaller. 250 pixels is like, it's like Papa Dash me. So I need a border radius so that it will be rounded. Border radius of 50%. Then, so we have this now, looking small. So let me make this 60. All right. So coming back here now, so we need them to be at the same line. So I just need to do justify. Oh, sorry, align items. So let me just do this first. Align center. And then let me just do a custom class. It should be ops. So align center. So this will be align items center. Okay. So I'm not saved here. So align center. So see, it's almost at the same point. So let me add this other part first before I do this. So I need testimony text. Testimony text. So I need a paragraph. Just with a random text. So it's so big. So I need to give this testimony item a width. So depending, I can just do this testimony. And then testimony item. Width of 48%. So this is it. Let me put a border around it. Two pixels, solid. Oh, I won't see that border. Sorry, let me add a background here. I will know what I'm doing. The background color of this. Okay, so this is what I have. I need to add a color here. So, no wonder they say light and darkness. Okay, so this is what I have. And I want to give it a padding. So this testimony item, a padding of probably 10 pixels. Okay, so I need it to be rounded. So border radius of 10 pixels. So let's see. So we have this now. I also want to give it a margin of 30 pixels. So we have that space now. So maybe I want to give this, I want to separate the name from the image. So I need to give the margin right of probably 10 pixels. So I have this now. I could choose. Okay. So let's just duplicate. So this is testimony item. So since we have two, I can just do this. So this is what we have, each of them on a separate line. But we want them to be on the same line. So we can just do custom class deflex and then put both of them. All right. I see. Oh, we're wondering why I did not put it on auto script. Okay. So I want so justify content between, so that there's a space between both of them. So this is what we have. I think we also need margin bottom after this, so that probably after this too. So I can just say, let me just leave this. Yes. So subtitle. So we have it here too. And then we have it. Project. Okay. All right. So coming back here now, I just want to give a margin bottom so that so margin bottom of probably 8 pixels. Or 20. Okay, so that's what we have. So we have this now. Let me check this color. So you can just put a background color here, testimony item. So this is my color. So this is what I have now. So yes, I think we are done with the basic listing. So what we like to do now is just notice this. Now look at, imagine, see what our website looks like on a small device. So foggy. So we want to fix this up. And there are a couple of things that makes a page responsive. So first of them is having a viewport. So inside here, we normally set this. So this, if this is absent in your web page, I think your web page, this might be the genesis of a fault. Then again, the other thing that makes a page responsive is this box sizing of border box, so that it lets you arrange things uh, in an orderly manner. It gives a kind of grid system for you. Then the one we want to look at today now is media query. So there's a thing for there are different breakpoints. So if you're seeing my screen now, so if you notice here now, we have 320, and then this should be the height. So from here is 320 pixels. If I expand it, 375. So this is for a larger phone than the regular normal Android phone also. Then if you get to this point, yeah, so this is a tablet. This is still a smaller phone. And then when you get to here, this is your laptop, and then your larger desktop. So you use this to actually check whether your web page is in line. That's if it is responsive. So we'll start with this. So for you to do that, for you to use media queries, you have to use an @media. So you can so this @media works when a condition is actually true. So if we say maximum width is 320 pixels. So that means from 320 pixels lower will be affected by whatever style. So what happens here is you put this and then you write your styles inside this. So let's just check something now. So opening this web page again. So this is 300 and this is 320. So this is 320. So let's say I want this name. I want it to be smaller. So I think if it is smaller, okay, so a couple of things are affecting. So if it's smaller, it will be able to fit in here. So I can start from bottom down. So if I come to my HTML, so this is hero section. I can just do no, I'll just pick hero name. And then I think H1, and then here now I can just say font size of 30 pixels. So you're redefining the style for a particular place. So let me increase this a bit. Let me do 375. So from 375 and lower, this should happen. I don't want to do this. Sorry. Let me just check something. Oh, I'm did it on the wrong place. I was looking at the wrong place. So let me remove this important. So that important is actually for you to use to force files on this. So this is what it looks like. So we had so hero name here has a padding top of 200 pixels, and we probably want it to go up. So I will do this. So hero name, and this should actually be aligned. This other one is not aligned. Okay. So I want a padding top. Padding top of 100 pixels. So this is what I have. Let me reduce this. So this is what I have. But then this guy is affecting this. So there are two things we can either do. I don't think we probably don't want this to show on a smaller screen, this image by this side. So I need to find out what it is. So I'm selecting this. I hope we can all do this inspect. So I select this. So this is lady section, image section. So I get this style. I come here now. So I don't want it to show on a small screen like this. So I say display none. You can actually do display none. So this is what I have. So you see now that it's actually coming into place. Yes, so we have a problem here in our header actually. So our header too should actually be aligned properly. Okay, so let me fix that up. So if we look at the header now, let me expand this. Inspect. So in this header now, we have a display of flex and then space between. So by default, when you say display flex, is usually in a row. So what we can do now is, so I can just, since the header has a display of flex, so I want to change the direction on a smaller screen. I don't get why my style is acting up. So I need the header. So I need the flex direction. So instead of, so it's usually row. Instead of row now, I need it to be on a column level. So if I check now, so this is what it's like now. Then yeah. So this is what it looks like now. Then depending, this one. So normally this will not be like this. It will actually be on a line. It will also be flex direction column too. So we can actually do that. So our UL header links. So our header links here, and then the UL is a display of flex. So we want the flex direction to be so header. Hope I'm not repeating. Okay, so I need to remove this. So this, so flex direction should also be column. So this is what it is like now. So we can actually make this nicer. So on a smaller screen, this is how it would show up. And okay, so we have a bit of an issue here. The name seems to be hidden. So let me make this 180 for now. Okay. So I'm leaving this one like this for now. So let's just go on, and then we'll do this subscribe section and then a couple of other things. So I am inspecting here. Okay. So this subscribe section, so that's the form section. So here, initially we gave it a width of 55%. So this 55%, on a small screen, we don't want it to still occupy 55%. So we want it to probably occupy 100%. So that means we now have to change it so that it fits properly. So I copied that style, and I'm actually doing this. So it's actually is you picking style, is you reassigning or changing style so that it fits that particular device that you want to make it you want the web page to be responsive on. So I am giving this a width of 100%. So sorry, I should have done this. So this is what it looks like, and then this our yeah, this forms. So on a small device, so we probably want it not to be two, we just want one on each line. So for us to do that, so we gave it form row, and form row is flex. So we want to change the flex direction for that form row. So I can just get this form row flex direction of column. So if you notice, I'm repeating styles, and normally it's not so nice. So this is what happens. So it's now column, flex direction of column. But now these are our input fields, they are just there. So what we want to do, so the input box is 48%. So we want to make this longer. So I am copying this. So you need to be, either you need to inspect to know where you have to make a change. So I'm putting it here. So I'm changing this from a width of 48% to a width of 100%. So this is what is happening now. So I could still do a margin bottom of maybe 20 pixels so that we have a bit of breathing space for it. So this is what this looks like now. So we have button container. So that space there. So button container is fine. It can be at the center like this, but this has a margin top of 30 pixels, and we probably don't want that. So it's okay to be closed like this. So what we want is even a margin bottom. So I can get this style. I already defined it earlier. So okay, so type of submit. So I need margin top of 0, and then margin bottom of, yeah, we can just do 30 pixels still. So are we confused? Do we have questions? Does anybody have questions? All right. Yes. Yeah, Sophia.
Okay, so sorry, my question is, when you scroll up, everything is kind of going under the header. Yes, like everything is kind of going under the header, and I'm wondering why.
Okay, so yesterday we did a position of fixed. So so this position of fixed, if I remove it now, you see that it just scrolls up. So it depends on what you want to achieve. So yesterday I was explaining positioning. That was why I used position of fixed. So when an item is fixed, every other thing just goes below it. You get? Do you understand?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. So any other question? So I think this is fair here. Then this section now. So on a large screen, this is okay. This and this, they're okay. But on a small screen, look at what is happening here. So we want this to be we want them to be on different lines. So here now, so I've been doing the normal repeating myself. So I can just do a flex column. So flex column here, I can just say flex direction of column. So when I come here now, so I need to find, this is my dev, this is deflex. So I want a flex direction. So I can just say flex column. So see what is happening here now. So just by changing the flex direction to column has made this. So this you tend to appreciate this more than when it was that way. So if I come to this screen size now, look at this is not nice. So on a small device like this, so it depends on what you're doing, what's your maximum breakpoint. So this is basically a breakpoint. So it's saying from 375 pixels lower. So anything that is lower. So this is 320. If we get to this screen size, yes. So if I reduce this now, so this works at this breakpoint. So 375 does not work because that's like the starting point of another breakpoint. So 370. So from 374 lower is affected by this style. Whereas from 375, if you notice, everything just scatters up again. Everything just goes back to how it was. All right, so let's just push on from there. So what do we want to do? Okay, so looking at this web page, at still using this breakpoint. So when I check here now, I see that we have this. So about text has a width of 60%, and I want it to fill the entire place. So I can just get this about text and then come over to where were we? So oops, about text. So the about text now we do a width of 100%. Originally it was a width of 60%. So 100%. Oh, I didn't put percent. So this is what it looks like now. So when we come over to this project site, so look at, imagine our 3 images looking so funny. So here now, so since we have a deflex and we want it to be on the same line, so this project. So I can still use my flex column. It's a custom class. I just created it so that I don't have to be repeating, oh, flex direction column, flex direction column. So look at, so I now have this like this. So we want it to fill the entire screen instead of being this tiny. So it has that 30% constraint on it. So I pick this. So this is project item. Project item has a width of 30%. Whispers the entire screen. Okay. So project item. So I want a width of 100%. So see what we have now. But then we don't have space at the bottom, so I can now give my margin bottom so that everything looks nice. 20 pixels. So look at this. So this is for this now. So I think this section is okay. So when you click on it, because it's a mobile device, so you have to click on it before you can notice the effect. It's not like when you hover on a desktop, that kind of stuff. So this one is still the same procedure. So for this one, it's still the same thing. We can still use the flex column. So flex column, it's now like this. So we now need to bring out, as in remove the constraint on it. So the testimony item had a width of 48%. So I get this and I come back here. So a width of 100% instead. Oops. So this is it. This is not more appealing, and this is more appealing than so this is more appealing than when we have something of, let me so look at this. So there are different breakpoints. So you can have media query is not something that you can have multiple of this. So you need to know where this one is. So if I close this, so that means for us to do it for another screen size, I need to come after this. So there are some standard breakpoints. So this is 425. I can just do 7. Okay. So let me just do from 425. So from 425. So 425. Okay. So I can do for this. So let's check. Depending on this screen size, now what do we want? I don't know if we need this. I don't think we need that. So I can still do a display none for this. You don't need to let me increase, let me change this to 425 instead. So 425, and then this can be 768. So at this. So let me increase this a bit. 780. So for 780,
Okay, guys. Looks like he closed for now, but please, for those who have questions, now will be the best time to ask your questions. Okay, so maybe once the screen comes on, we could continue from there. But for now, you could ask your questions so we can answer them. Do that by raising your hand. So just pick out and ask your questions. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Who's
Okay. Daniel by name. I want to say thank you for the class. It has actually been interactive and educative, informative. So I just wanted to confirm something in terms of responsiveness. There has been a statement between building for mobile first and building for desktop first. So I'd like to get your opinion over it. And that is, when you call the media phrase now, you use max width, which means you build for desktop first. And for building for mobile first, you use a minimum mean width. So I just want to confirm which is better and why, because I've not really gotten the proper answer concerning that, and which is best practice actually.
okay? Now it is actually a matter of preference. Okay, so some people prefer to build for mobile first because they feel with mobile first it can actually be scaled to off-screen devices, and either way you're still good to go. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to do with anything, but most people prefer to use mobile first because it is kind of easier to use. And you could still use desktop first too, if that's how you actually start learning how to build. Okay, so like me, I use desktop first because I work with the laptop, so I have to make sure it shows on the laptop and I can actually scale it down to other screen devices. So I hope to answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Obasui,
I was the one that just asked the question. Let me lower my hand.
Hello everyone. Sorry, I had network issues. Can we hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So Martina, what's your question? See your hand is up.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, I can.
Please. I often encounter are not available on YouTube. That's later on. And like the last class you had at the JavaScript class, when I went there, I saw that the video was not available. I don't know if something can be on site or even this one now. Maybe like I didn't follow early because I had power issue. So I just joined now, not quite long ago before you went off. So I want to be sure that these videos are on YouTube so I can follow up later. Sir. And I don't know what the cause of that. Sorry, the video is not available now. Has it been rectified, sir?
Okay, keys, I think. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So thank you guys for everyone who joined this class. I
Wait,
believe
wait. Okay, he asked the question actually.
okay. I want to
Yeah.
thank them first now. Okay, what was your question? Don't mind me, just fooling around. Yes, what was the question?
He's saying whether we've rectified videos not being available on YouTube. He had
Please
that
let me.
issue.
Who is the person? Can you unmute your mic? Who has that issue? Unmute your mic, please.
Yes.
Okay,
Samad. Yes, sir.
So
I had
what
that
exactly?
case. When I went to YouTube through the link that was shared. So I
Okay.
saw that you were saying sorry, this video is no longer available. So I couldn't watch the video up to now. So I want to be sure. Like this one now, I didn't follow from the beginning because I had
What
power
video
issue. So
was
I want
that?
to
For which class?
the JavaScript.
JavaScript. Okay,
I don't
so
know if it has been rectified.
hold on, your phone or your laptop?
Both of them.
Okay, so please let me just hold on. Someone's hands raised. Okay, who else has this issue here, please? Can you just raise your hand? Has anybody had that issue? Nobody else has that issue. Okay, that's interesting. So Savannah, you seem to be alone on this. Okay, just I'll look into that. Okay, but in the I feel something else. But you can try downloading it though, just in case it's still proving difficult. You can just try downloading the video. Okay, but I'll look into it. Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you. And this one
Yeah.
too. I can get this one too, right?
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Olani, you have a question? Or your hand is just raised. Okay, Sophia.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes,
So,
good morning.
before our tutor got disconnected, he said something about standard breakpoints. So I wanted him to give us like standard breakpoints for media querying.
Okay, so I think I'll leave Ogochukwu to handle that. That's not within my scope. Okay, Ogochukwu.
Okay. So sorry I have to go off that. So let me open this up. So considering standard breakpoints, so we have these numbers at the top here. We have 320, we have 375, we have 768, we have 1024. So those are like standard breakpoints. So if you're trying to create responsiveness around that, you can actually use that as as your breakpoints. So I'm actually altering mine a bit. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so I'm actually altering mine a bit so that it will suit what we are doing. Let me open this up. So I have so many tabs open. Sorry. Okay, I need to open this again. So index open with lifestyle. Hmm. Okay, so I'm altering my own a bit. So when we come to this point, it's so I search here at 4:30 instead of 4:25. Reason being that if I come here now, this is 4:25. So at 4:25, if I change this to 4:25 now, and you see that the style doesn't affect it. This everything is as if it's all scattered again. So I had to increase it a bit, 4:30, so that at this point everything still looks fine and okay. So if you're using the standard points, then probably you now, okay, let's just say we're using 4:25. Okay, so let me just say minimum weight. So instead of maximum now, I could decide to just use a minimum weight and say maybe from three, yeah, 325. So minimum weight of 325. This should happen. So you see, this is fine. So 325 is actually this one, or it's 375 rather. I usually mix them up. So 375. So you see at this point now, but if I go beyond this, if I go below this, it's scattered here. So it's just you knowing which way you choose to use. So for me, I want the 425. I want 425 to actually to be part of what is affected. So that's why I chose to increase it to 430 so that this is covered. And then this other one, instead of 768, which is this 768, I'm now using 780. So, Sophie, I hope you understand.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. So I want to just round up this so that I think this is fine. This section is also fine, but this one is not okay. Um, so what I could do is I need to check this. So the height of this image, so a width of 40%. So it's actually not that. So if I look at the text width of, so I think the issue I have is the size of my image. So I needed to reduce, so I need to reduce the size of my image. So that means here now I can just do dev image img. So I want a height of maybe 200 pixels. So this, you see that this is nice on this screen. When we go a bit lower, this is nice on this screen. If we come here now, this is still okay. If we come to this screen, this is still fine. So everything is all responsive. So you can just try that nice page that nice page that you actually worked on. Just try and do this responsive test on it. But I don't know the best way to tease. I wanted to tease, but just be prepared for it. So in essence, media queries is just for you to just control how you want things to be rendered on a particular screen size. So I used to here. So you can actually look up more on this. You can use minimum weight, you can use maximum weight. There, there are other things. So you can use landscape, you can use portrait. So there's a lot to media query, but just so that your page is responsive, that's the reason why we use that. And you can see that our own is at least it's okay. Even though this text is so big, let me just do something about it. I actually said I don't want this. So form section, ladies section, form section. So yeah. Each one. So I probably need a font size of maybe 30 pixels. So I don't want it to be that. So I think this is fair. This is better. So the thing is, you can actually just play around with this. It's just the same way CSS works. It's just you knowing what you want to put. I could actually make it that on a small screen size, instead of this being at one end, this is probably at the center. So let me just do that now. So about text. So on this screen size, we have this. H5. And then we have H5, H2. So I could just do text align center. So, and then I can decide to just give this a margin top. Margin top of 20 pixels. So you see. So it's actually giving, because it's two of them now, it's giving margin top to this one and margin top. So the way I said I would have made this better is to put these two things inside a div and then style it so that any style I'm doing, it doesn't affect each of them separately. It affects them as a group. So this is just that. It's not very difficult. It's not. So we just you guys will just read up, watch the video, read up, and then I'm sure you'll be able to pick up from it. So do we still have questions? Yeah, Sophia.
Okay, sorry, this question. So on the chat box, somebody drops some media query, gave ranges. So in writing
Okay.
out, can we write in ranges like that? Like you say, minimum width of this, maximum width of this.
Yes, you can.
Okay, could you please show how that can be written out, please?
All right. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just give me a moment. I think that's so minimum weight. So this is maximum, and then let's say 400 pixels. I think I need this. Okay. Okay, sorry. This should actually be in a bracket. Then this. So, in essence, what we are saying at I'm gonna save this. Yeah. Ouch. Plenty screens. It's not even this one. So what we are saying is, okay, when I get to when I get to at 780 pixels and minimum width of 400. So let me open this up again. So this is from this range to this range have this 400 is actually lesser than this. So that's why this image here is still at 200. But imagine we just did minimum width of, let's say, 4 to 5. Okay. For so you see, so minimum width means that from this one inclusive. So this inclusive, and then 779 will have this style. So when you're combining a range, you can use it like this. But when you're doing it individually, so if you're doing maximum, that means this number is not included. That means the number, so if it's 780 now, that means 779 and lower will have this style. So from minimum means from 430 above will have this particular size. Do you understand, Sophia?
Yes, I do understand. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any other question? I hope we didn't get lost on the way. Okay, okay, so that's fine. I think that's where we'll draw the curtain for today. Okay, Ike, over to you.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. I trust you actually had a wonderful time and you've learned a lot. So let me just drop this information. So for some of us who have been asking, based on the Python classes and the rest. So this week, you're still on the general web class. So from next week, we're going to be splitting you guys into the front end and back end. Okay, so promotion to stage 4 is also this week. So the task you're going to be given at the end of today, okay, that is what's going to be, used as a yardstick for your promotion. So make sure you do your task and submit on time so you can be moved to the next stage and then you can start your track specific classes. That means those on the front end goes to front end, those on the back end goes to the back end classes. Thank you very much once again, and you have a wonderful